Welcome back to our rolling coverage of the G20 summit. It's India's turn in the spotlight and certainly a moment that a billion Indians would be very proud of. Right behind me is the Bharat Mandapam, where world leaders, the delegates, have started arriving for the G20 summit. The Prime Minister is personally receiving all of these world leaders as they arrive. India, of course, the host country here in New Delhi, and the Bharat Mandapam, the purpose for which it was built, of course, is, of course, exhibition. But at the point of time, it is hosting this very important and very big G20 summit. Will there be a New Delhi declaration? That's something which we'll only know the answer of by tomorrow. The Indian government certainly very hopeful that they would be able to push through a joint resolution of all the member countries. But will that actually happen on ground? Of course, the world leaders will have to sit together and give their final stamp of approval for that. But let me quickly, in fact, take this across to our guests who are with us. Let me first go across to Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, what a moment indeed. And it's a moment where the last 9 years of the Modi government, its various work in different fields, whether it's space, whether it's science, whether it's healthcare, all of that, whether it's fintech, for instance, that we were discussing, all of that, in a sense, comes to a conclusion today in many ways, because it's the moment where India has shown its own place in the global order, a leader of the global south, but as well a leader that's playing its very important and significant role amongst the Committee of Nations.
Very good morning to you, Madhav. No, absolutely what you say is right, but I would maybe slightly disagree with you about it coming to an end. I think this would be a glorious beginning. Previous panelists before me, Dr. Arora, and the founder of MobiKwik, they talked about some incredible achievements under this government. The first one was the financial inclusion that you talked about, that's been in news. What should have taken, or what was projected to take 47 years has taken 6 years. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. One thing that perhaps you can add going through the day is that something which is unbelievable and spectacular is that in the last 15 years, India has pulled out 415 million Indians out of multidimensional abject poverty. I think that is possibly one of the great achievements of this government and a little bit of the previous regime as well. And what Dr. Arora talked about the vaccine thing, well, I personally, I think, I might be a bit partial here, but vaccinating 1 billion Indians twice over within a year, I think it is independent India's greatest achievement. If you look at every other achievement over the last 75 years, that according to me. But having said all that, you possibly knew there was a but coming. I'm not a diplomat. This, according to me, the G20 and people coming together, leaders coming together, I think India is in the rightful place to demand accountability, action-oriented accountability. And let me just take 2 examples out here, because these are issues that possibly I have a little bit of not expertise, but a little bit of interest in talking about them. One of them obviously is the health, and the other would be about the climate and energy. On the climate and energy first, I think India is now in a place where it should demand not only answers from the West, but also action. Many people, especially in the Americans, they have started accusing India because as it develops, it requires a lot of energy and all those things. But what they refuse to mention is that the greenhouse emissions per capita for America are 20 tons, for India are 2 tons. Now, we are a developing nation. We need the energy. Despite that, it was America that pulled out of the Paris climate deal. We didn't. So at our great expense, losing out, we have still agreed, because of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, to be in this thing. We demand action from the West. And as far as the first issue of health is concerned,
climate change is certainly a very important. All right, and in fact, I'm going to in fact toss it out to my colleagues who have in fact been, very closely following this important aspect of Indo-Saudi Arabian trade, and that, of course, is going to be the important focus that we're going to have in just a few minutes from now. Stay tuned.